Here's your wrestling news for January 10th, 2023, and we're kicking off today with Bray Wyatt, who last October returned to WWE, but it wasn't long after that the former Universal Champion was being haunted by Uncle Howdy. The dark figure has been at times an asset and at times a thorn in the side of Wyatt, and fans have been trying to figure out who exactly it is. The most popular theory among fans is that Howdy is Bo Dallas, and now there's been another huge sign that this is the case, as PW Insider reported before Raw. Bo Dallas is backstage at tonight's Monday Night Raw in Birmingham, Alabama. Given the Alexa Bliss announcement that she will explain her heel turn last week, one has to assume Uncle Howdy will make an appearance. This should confirm 100% that Dallas is playing the Uncle Howdy role. Sure enough, Bliss did appear on the show and was confronted by Uncle Howdy, though the mysterious figure was not unmasked to be Bo Dallas. Questions still remain about the Uncle Howdy character, such as whether he will be a member of the rumored Wyatt 6 stable, and what else WWE will do with him after this Wyatt feud, but any questions about his true identity have now been answered. Over to Raw now, as Alexa Bliss was on last night's show to discuss last week's assault on Bianca Belair, which happened after she was taunted by Bray Wyatt imagery and Uncle Howdy masks. During her speech atop the commentators' table, Bliss was interrupted by the real Uncle Howdy, who made it clear that he has an interest in the goddess of WWE. Questions are running rampant as to what exactly WWE has in store for the two, but two ideas are coming forward. The first idea is that far from being a force come to destroy Bray Wyatt, Uncle Howdy is an ally of the former Fiend who has arrived to help Wyatt out. Wyatt's most recent televised match was nearly 2 years ago when he lost to Randy Orton at WrestleMania 37 thanks to a distraction and betrayal by Bliss herself. The next night on Raw, Bliss made it clear that she did not need Wyatt anymore, and the pair would not appear before Wyatt's release, and have not appeared together since he's returned. Given the less than amicable split between Bray and Bliss, Howdy's presence may be to destroy the goddess, and with her out of the picture, to unlock the true side of Wyatt that has been buried deep down. The other idea being thrown about is that Howdy is here to try and destroy Bliss, but it won't be for Wyatt's benefit at all. On Raw, Bliss made it clear that the fans shouldn't be focusing on Wyatt or Howdy, but on her, and dubbed herself the face of evil. There's no shortage of villains in WWE today, and Uncle Howdy may have taken exception to someone calling themselves the face of evil. In the little time we've known of Uncle Howdy, he has kidnapped LA Knight and assaulted him multiple times, so the dark figure has an evil streak himself. Howdy could indeed be WWE's face of evil, but if so, he'll have to deal with Bliss and her claims first before he takes that mantle. What do you think of these suggestions? Where would you like to see this story between Bliss, Uncle Howdy, and Bray Wyatt go next week? Let us know in the comments. Now, there was a time when the idea of WWE being sold seemed preposterous, but that certainly seems to be happening now. A list of possible buyers is quickly growing, with names including Comcast, Fox, Disney, and even Saudi Arabia, 4 years after the nation's controversial relationship with WWE began. We can't say for certain who will buy WWE if a sale even happens, but we have a rough timeline on when a deal will happen. On his show, Meltzer said that WWE is hopeful that a sale will take place before talks of new TV deals with the USA Network and Fox. It was in late 2018 that WWE signed a 5-year deal with Fox that saw SmackDown begin airing on the channel in 2019, so a new contract should be negotiated this year. Some in WWE said that they expect a sale to happen within the next 3 to 6 months, but these sources weren't members of WWE's board. Ultimately, it will be Vince McMahon who decides who WWE is sold to, and if the ex-CEO's history of rushing storylines is anything to go by, expect a sale sooner rather than later. The return of Vince McMahon has certainly shocked the world of professional wrestling, as it comes less than 6 months after his retirement last July. After McMahon retired, it was said that morale within the company had improved significantly after being at an all-time low following the 2022 Royal Rumble. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer reported that WWE's roster are fearful over their jobs, especially with plans for a potential sale. The morale was much better without Vince McMahon. Now everyone's worried again because it's like, if Vince is in charge and they're trying to sell, does that mean they're going to start doing cuts again? For 2 years, WWE orchestrated massive cuts to the roster, which led to speculation that the company was cutting costs to look more attractive to potential buyers. Now, history may be about to repeat itself, as while WWE haven't spoken publicly about any more massive waves of releases, those on WWE's roster are definitely on edge. Over to Raw next, as after his successful title defense last week, United States Champion Austin Theory was feeling pretty full of himself this week. In the ring, Theory gloated about retaining his title and putting Seth Rollins on the shelf, declaring that the champ is here. This was a not-so-subtle nod to a possible John Cena match, something that has been rumored for some time, though recent reports have stated that it'll be Cena versus Logan Paul at WrestleMania 39. Either way, Rollins hobbled his way to the ring, earning a hero's welcome from the fans, and doesn't even talk like a heel anymore. Simply put, Rollins is a face, arguably WWE's top face right now, and this marks his first turn in 3 years. Rollins also revealed that he was faking his injury, then told Theory that he'd see him at the Royal Rumble, teasing a rematch with the US champion. As if that wasn't enough, Bobby Lashley returned from his suspension, breezed past Rollins to level Theory, teasing that he will be coming for the title as well. There was also a tease of him rejoining the Hurt Business, as he said that while he respects MVP, who got him reinstated, he wasn't looking to go back in the old direction. For teases of future plans with just a handful of characters, this was a really well done segment on Raw, and Theory will have his hands full in the coming weeks. It was also during last night's show that Adam Pearce informed the Usos that there would be a tag team turmoil match to determine the #1 contenders for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Yes, we said that correctly, the Raw Tag Team Championships, not the undisputed WWE Tag Team titles, but only the Raw Gold. This wasn't a mistake by Pearce, as on commentary Kevin Patrick mentioned that this match will determine the next challengers for the Raw Tag Team titles. That match ended with the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Damian Priest being the victors, and in a face-off post-match, the Usos only held up their Raw Tag Team Gold. If this week is anything to go by, it's clear that the tag titles will soon be split up again, and after a mixed response to the titles being unified in the first place, this is probably for the best. As we mentioned, the Judgment Day emerged victorious in the Tag Team Turmoil match and would have an epic performance on the show. Priest and Balor started the proceedings and outlasted every other team in the match, including former champions including the Street Profits and Alpha Academy. Montez Ford was mesmerizing in the closing moments, but once again it was Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio who made the difference, with the latter replacing Balor in the match, with the Irishman being medically disqualified. As for Ripley, she would prevent Montez Ford from getting the pin, with Dominic taking advantage of the situation quickly. Much of this week's Raw was spent establishing Dominic's new released convict persona, or building up the group's credibility, and this week was a massive indication that 2023 could be the year of the Judgment Day. As we mentioned earlier, Austin Theory was gloating during this week's Raw and gave a tease of a match with John Cena. Last year, a match between the two was strongly teased on WWE TV but never happened, and this week's hint did not go amiss with fans. On Twitter, fans speculated on Cena vs. Theory at this year's WrestleMania, though that will only happen if Logan Paul doesn't face Big Match John, and fans even suggested that Cena could dethrone Theory to win the title. There's still a lot of questions regarding WrestleMania 39, but with Theory quickly rising to become one of the biggest names on Raw, expect a high-profile match for the US champion no matter who he faces. But who do you want to see tangle with Big Match John? Should it be Theory, Paul, or someone else entirely? Share your views for a John Cena WrestleMania match below. It has been less than a month since Mandy Rose's controversial departure from WWE, which came one day after she lost the NXT Women's Championship to Roxanne Perez. After her release, Rose promised subscribers to her site that the platform would remain active and even put up the price of subscribing, but she's now ready to share her side of the story. On Twitter, Rose revealed that she will be on Tamron Hall to discuss her career and is excited for fans to hear her story. In the tweet, Rose didn't say whether she'd be addressing her release or not, but given the nature of what happened, we expect it is bound to come up. While she is serving a 90-day non-compete clause, Rose is doing very well for herself, earning $1 million in December 2022 alone, and she'll now be able to tell her side of what happened with WWE last month on national TV. Roman Reigns news now, as while he has held the Universal title for over 2 years, it was back at WrestleMania 38 that he added the WWE title to his collection. Reigns has proven to be dominant with both titles, and this week even surpassed a self-proclaimed wrestling god. It was this week that Reigns reached 281 days with the WWE title, surpassing JBL's 280-day reign that ended at WrestleMania 21 in 2005. Reigns is the fourth longest reigning WWE champion of the modern era, the rest being AJ Styles at 371 days, John Cena at 380 days, and CM Punk's 434-day run, and we're sure the Tribal Chief is planning on surpassing all of these superstars. And we're ending with WWE, and while sales talks have been dominating the locker room discussion backstage, there's still a company to run and a WrestleMania that is fast approaching. We're just 81 days away from WrestleMania 39, and this year's two-night event now holds a major record. In a statement, WWE announced that WrestleMania 39 has set a new record at the gate, surpassing the $17.3 million made in ticket sales by WrestleMania 32 in 2016. With names like The Rock, John Cena, and Stone Cold Steve Austin rumored to compete, it's no wonder why the company has sold so many tickets, and time will tell if WWE's biggest event in 2023 lives up to the high expectations. The wrestling world was thrown another curveball when Vince McMahon made his return to WWE. McMahon claims he came back so that WWE could execute its next media rights deal, as well as a possible sale of the company. WWE's stock soared since the news, but the general consensus is that McMahon's presence isn't what caused the spike. The stock more likely went up due to the talks of WWE possibly being sold. One of the biggest winners coming out of a potential sale appears to be Nick Khan. On What Happened When, Conrad Thompson shared a story with AEW commentator Tony Schiavone involving one of his friends and how Khan could be significantly richer by the end of a WWE sale. He was a guy who was helping negotiate contracts and make deals and things like that, and I happen to have friends who need representation like that, we'll say that. My friend was represented by the same company that Nick Khan was sort of running. When my friend sees that the guy who runs this big agency is now going to WWE, he goes, "What the fuck? This doesn't make any sense." Thompson added that the friend ended up reaching out to his contact to learn why Khan was leaving the agency. Thompson said that the friend told him that Khan had a deal in place with McMahon where if he helped facilitate the sale of WWE, he'd earn a substantial payday. Thompson said that he was told the number, but he didn't want to reveal it. 2023 is shaping up to be a very interesting year for WWE. Time will tell which company puts together the best offer and purchases the promotion.